Welcome to Make Something Small. I'm Christina, and this week I'm talking about how I researched pattern and color trends for my upcoming Fall 2026 collection. We'll explore how to start thinking like a trend forecaster, take a look at my Pinterest inspiration boards for patterns and colors, and I'll share a few patterns that I've already started. I don't have access to expensive trend forecasting reports, so I'm learning from publicly available resources. Some of my go-tos include design blogs like Pattern Observer, color forecasts from Pantone, and press releases or recaps from design trade shows. I'm also learning to identify trends in different stages of their life cycle. When I visit stores, I pay attention to window displays, front tables, and new arrivals. These often showcase emerging trends. Clearance racks, on the other hand, show what styles are on the way out. Even when I spot a motif that's already peaking, I remind myself that it's not wasted. Trends evolve. A peacock trend might start with the full bird, then shift to feather motifs, then to the iridescent eye spot, and finally into abstract shimmer or dot patterns. So when I'm researching in stores, I'm observing, not copying. I take note of recurring motifs, textures, and color palettes. These observations help me build a mental bank of ideas I can use in my own way. Okay, so this is my Pinterest board for researching the 2026 collection for fall that I want to start. And I'm doing that because in what I'm learning, um, that is where the calendar is like a year ahead. So it is now fall of 2025. So I want to design something going in the future for fall of 2026. Doing some research, I have done some color trend research. So we're going to start with the color trends. Okay, so some of the color trends that I have found coming up is this mint green color. Um, so here's like an example of like a piece of art for the home that would be like a this mint green or teal. And teal, this dark teal is another one. So we have a lighter green and we have a teal. And so what I have researched says that there's also going to be other trends in the different greens, um, besides the teal and the mint. There's going to be like a sage green in the painting, uh, the kind of the painting home decor kind of a world. We don't know what the color of the year is yet for Pantone, but it's assumed that, based on some of my reading, that it is going to be a green color. And then there's also this amber and gold color, and this pale blue. They're calling it azure blue, but I guess it could be a sky blue or a pale blue. And then fuchsia. Then we're going to go here to some pattern trends that I saw. And one of the things I noticed when I was looking at bedding, because some of the other things I've seen too is like in wallpaper that a lot of these vintage wallpaper is coming up. Even some of this buffalo plaid kind of thing is still going to be popular. But one of the things I noticed a lot in the bedding and in the wallpaper are these scenes or the vignettes, like in the heritage wallpaper, like these little cabin scenes, or even in this wallpaper here, you have like these little houses, this house, and then like this little lamp with the flowers around it, and then this is in the showing it in use. So you have like a little house, and they make these. You have these scenes or vignettes, and I noticed that a lot in the bedding too. Like this one, you have like
you have birds, and you've got trees, and you've got like a snake wrapped around the tree, and you've got a peacock, you've got different colored birds. And then you can also see this is like a bedding set from anthropology. And then you take some of the simpler patterns out of this to make the accented patterns, or the pillowcases and the sheets and different things. But I've noticed that there's a lot in bedding and in the wallpaper, because I'm looking at home design, home decor for like bedding and things like that. And so this is even showing like a scene, like a floral scene with this flower bouquet or this flower field. In the circle, you have different flowers that repeat, and then you've got these other designs on the sides. You still have kind of a vignette story being told with these flowers. And so you see this again with the wallpaper, with the cabins, with this cabin like collection. You just have like a little scene, and then you use that to make into a pattern. And then this is a piece of some of the heritage wallpaper that is said that it should be making a comeback in 2025 and 2026. My idea right now is to do something floral, because if you saw my butterfly calendar, you see that I was doing some, uh, kind of whimsical type of flowers. This is my inspiration board for fall florals. I have asters and daisies, violas, hydrangeas, mums and dahlias, different types of fall flowers. So I've got a lot of reference photos that I can look at in order to create these the motifs or the patterns. That's the floral. One of the things though I have to think about is what kind of a scene or a vignette could I create with the flowers? Do I want to do something floral with a scene with the flowers and a butterfly? Do I want to do like a meadow scene? But with that, is that giving off spring or is that giving off fall? I don't know. This is my first, I guess, real collection that I'm really trying to build. I've been doing this off and on with print on demand for a while, and but this is kind of the first one I'm really taking seriously. But anyway, this is my Pinterest board that I've got right now, and I'll talk a little bit more about feeling overwhelmed in the rest of the video, and how I'm trying to go step by step in building what I'm building.
This is a list of the resource links I've used in this research phase if you want to explore further. The links will also be in the video description. Here are some of the surface pattern trends I'm watching. Polka dots and spots, especially irregular, painterly, or oversized versions. Checks and plaids, especially textured or distorted ginghams. Wavy and retro stripes, moving from fashion into interiors. Ornate florals and damask prints in wallpaper and bedding. Other active or evolving trends include oversized flower bouquets and wallflower mixes, especially with dark backgrounds. Geometric curves and arches like scallops, rainbows, and semicircles. Animal prints and motifs like butterflies, zebras, and leopards, used subtly. Maximalist layers of bold motifs and rich color palettes. Some patterns are starting to lose steam, including overly minimal black and white geometrics, tiny ditzy floral patterns, popular in cottagecore, farmhouse staples like buffalo pad and scripted quotes, Monstera leaves, unless reinterpreted creatively. Neon tie-dye ingredients, which aren't transitioning into home decor. Emerging or evolving patterns include soft watercolor layers and a painterly texture, gemstone-inspired crystalline effects and metallic accents, hand-drawn imperfect line work, Eastern European folk art and embroidery motifs, eco-themes like moss, grasses, and fungi texture. Here are my ideas for the wildflower motifs and the thumbnails that I've sketched for potential pattern layouts. I expect to be working on this throughout the rest of 2025. So far, I've completed 2 patterns, one with circular daisy-like blooms and one using a floral OG layout. I'm still experimenting, especially with the color. In the OG pattern, the mint and teal blended too closely, but this is part of the learning process. I'm using the researched color palettes to guide my colorways. As I work through my thumbnails, I don't expect to keep every design. This is still in the early phases. It's only the beginning of October, and honestly, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed and uncertain, but I'm showing up and doing the work. I joined Liz Kohler Brown's studio membership and started working through her collection building courses. Right now, I'm focused on the collection checklist, pattern layouts, and pattern math. It's helping to build my skills and confidence. Originally, I planned to make just 6 patterns, but after watching more of the course, I've decided to make as many as I can. That way, I have more to choose from and more room to experiment. So what's next? I'll be sharing more of my finished patterns. I'll be talking about exploring and refining the pattern illustration style. I'll be testing scale for bedding and home goods. And I'll be continuing the course lessons and updating my Pinterest board with references and inspiration. Thank you so much for watching. I release new videos every Friday at 8 a.m. Central. Subscribe to follow along as this collection takes shape. And remember, big ideas always start with something small.